everyone, welcome to Katla UNESCO Global Geopark. We are now situated in South Iceland, and you can see behind me black long coastline in Reynisfjara, close to the town Vík. Our geopark tells the story of interaction of fire and ice because we have volcanoes under the glaciers here. But also an important part of our geopark is talking about climate change and the impact climate change is having on our area. And we have our science expert here, Jóhannes, who is going to tell you a little bit how climate change has been impacting our area here.
Thank you very much. And we chose this location because we're talking about landslides and coastal erosion. And we have Black Coast here, but we're also situated underneath a volcano that's on the coastline as well. And landslides are predicted to be increased drastically due to climate change. And here we have three factors that are affecting the landslide. And you can actually see all around us here how many rocks are falling. I have one loose rock, fresh rock. Now you can see a lot of them here along the wall. But the last landslide that fell from this mountain was last fall. Sadly we cannot see it from here, but there have been 4 others in the last 20 years or so, and this is about to increase. But what happens with landslides is, with climate change as well, is we're expecting higher precipitation or more rainfall, and it increases the pore pressure of the rock. So the water goes into cracks into the mountains and in the rocks, and starts to split them up just due to the weight. This will expand the cracks, weakens the rock, and you get more landslides. But also the amount of heavy rainfall, where a lot of rain falls over a very short period of time, is expected to increase. So we get massive amount of rain over a short period of time that will increase the pore pressure again and cause landslides. But I don't know if you can see the corner here, but it will also oversaturate the soil, and the soil cannot retain any more water. So it basically floats on top, and then if you have an incline in the landscape, it just slides off. So we have that, and a little bit higher up in the hill, but this is also coastal erosion. And the third factor, because of weather extremes, we will have more freezing and thawing cycles happening, especially here in Iceland and in Norway and Finland. And then the water that settles in the cracks will freeze, and as it freezes, it expands, growing the cracks, and you get collapses as well. But there are a few other factors that will play in increased frequency of landslides, which we cannot see here. One is the receding of glaciers, and I believe you were earlier this morning in the glaciers at Vatnajökull. But especially when outlet glacier retreat, they have usually cut a valley for themselves, and as they retreat back into the valley, they leave behind unstable mountain walls that are fairly steep. So as the glacier retreats, you leave behind the steep rock face, and just gravity can cause them to collapse, or if you have a large amount of precipitation or rain, it will collapse down, or earthquakes, which we have a lot of here in Iceland. I believe it was 1,000 earthquakes last week. So, but then you also have, if there is more rainfall, you get larger rivers, and they can undercut both their banks and mountainsides if they're going through a valley, and this will increase landslides as well. And yeah, so look forward to the future. So, but then the main subject is coastal erosion, my favorite subject. We have the Black Sand Beach here, and this is a high energy beach, meaning the wave height is extremely large here, and it's fairly normal today, it's not too much wind. And this beach is only maintained by the sediments that are brought in from the large glacial rivers here to the east of us. If we didn't have those sediments, this would be a rock beach or a cliff face beach. And you can see the cliff faces here. So we have 2 types of a beach face here, cliff face beach and a sandy beach. And most of this beach is actually a spin. But due to climate change, we're expecting a drastic increase in ocean level. Up to 81 centimeters is the highest projection of the United Nations. I believe most scientists are expecting up to 1.5 meters in this century, the darkest one. But what happens to coastlines when the ocean level increases is it pushes back the coast. What's called a rollover. And you can see a small footprint here. It's not very high, it's not projecting out of the surface, but it's extremely wide. So once the ocean level raises, the wave is able to break over the beach ridge, and it erodes in front of the beach ridge, but deposits the same deposit on the other side of the beach, so it pushes it inland. And the rest will happen to the beach as well. We have a small berm, it's called a berm, the flat area here near the beach ridge. That will be eroded away and deposited further down, so it makes the beach a little bit more flat. But because this is a high energy beach, we don't really have a berm here, and it's fairly flat already. But we also have an estuary behind us, and due to increase in rain, more sediments will be brought into the estuary, and along with the beach being pushed further back, it will destroy the estuary eventually. And if the ocean level rises too much, this all will be overlaid by sea. And we don't have to go far back into time when this all was bottom of the ocean, only about 8,500 years or so. And that was at the end of the last glaciation here in Iceland. But what also will happen due to increased heat, due to climate change, we'll get more evaporation from the ocean, and so high rainfall, but also increased storminess because of that. So we'll get more storms hitting the coast, and the storms are responsible for eroding the beach itself. So it takes material from the beach and moves it offshore. But luckily, the average wave height is expected to be lowered around Europe. Has not been studied in Iceland. My guess would be it will increase, but the maximum wave height will increase drastically, and it's that wave height that causes the most of the problem. So, but also the direction of the wave when it hits the beach is very important. It's not expected to change here in Iceland because southwest storms are the most common storm here on the southwest, but it might change in Norway and Finland. But that's for the sandy beach. We'll get back to the rock face itself. And as I mentioned earlier, there have been numerous landslides or rock collapses here in the last few years, and it's mostly happening through undercutting of the rock face. The wave will hit the rock face, and it's carrying large amounts of rocks and sand, and it will start to erode into the rock face, cutting into it, leaving exposed rock above. And we can see it best here. I don't know if the camera can picture it. But this is an old volcano called Reynisfjall, but it erupted underneath the sea when the ocean level was much, much higher, probably 150,000 years ago or so. And it's mostly formed from what is called palagonite. And palagonite is basically ash that has been cemented together, and it erodes fairly quickly. We can't see any here. This is probably the volcanic vent during the eruption. That's why we have so much basalt here. But on the other side, and we'll probably take a picture of that later on, there's a massive amount of erosion going on, and undercuts as well, and there are the collapses. So when the rock hits the rock face, just erode, and we saw earlier all the fresh rock collapses here, but they are done due to the undercutting as well. And as the ocean level will increase, more and more areas in Iceland will become cliff face beaches like these, and many of them have this soft rock, the palagonite. So coastal erosion is already a problem in Iceland, and about 70% of all sandy beaches in the world are being eroded. But this will become a major problem in the future, and it will affect billions of people because most of the people live around or near coastal areas. And how much time do I have?
About 5 minutes.
5 minutes? Oh, lovely. Perfect. So, but we're also talking about climate change in the past, and this affects Norway and Finland as well. So if we fade out to the low-lying areas, and you can see Dyrhólaey, which is a similar formation to this mountain as well. And you can see the massive sea stacks there as well. So this is coastal erosion as well. They used to be covered with palagonite, but these are the basalt stacks like we saw here earlier behind us. And they are a little bit more resistant to weathering. But the island, it's called Island in Iceland, used to extend much, much further to the south. But the ocean over the last few thousand years has eroded this away. And in, let's say, 1 or 2,000 years, this basalt volcanic block will become a sea stack just like the big one there. So we have something to look forward to. But at the end of the last glaciation here in Iceland, the land was pushed down, similar to in Norway and Finland, due to the load of the glacial ice. But once the ice shelf collapsed, the land started to rise again. But because all the glaciers had melted, or most of them, the ocean level rose as well. So all the flat area on the south coast here was an ocean bottom. And this caused massive erosion along the coastline, which are now the vertical rock faces we see on the south coast. And it's the same thing that is happening here. So this is a similar evolution of the landscape, just in a little bit more frightening way. But not all climate change is bad. In Iceland, the vegetation cover is expected to grow thicker due to a little bit more increased heat. So that's good news. It can settle down the landslides and can prevent landslides. So only time will tell. But I should also mention that any prediction of what climate change has and will affect landslides and coastal erosion is not very certain. The models do not agree on how much erosion will happen or even how much ocean level rise will get. So only time will tell, basically. Thank you.
So you finished or?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Quite interesting. Now we take a break for maybe half an hour, Hjördís, wasn't it?
I thought it would just 15 minutes.
It's 14:45, the next streaming, isn't it? Or it's just 15 minutes?
13:45.
Should you say,
13:45.
yeah,
Okay.
half an hour then?
Half an hour.
So now the students are going to look into this area and they are going to draw one picture of what they hear, what they see and what they feel. And after this half an hour we'll come again and they will show you that picture and talk about it. And as before we are trying some new things, so bear with us, we are not perfect, but they will be good. So thank you for now, and after half an hour, you'll see us again. Thank you. Okay, again, we're a bit earlier than we expected, but I hope it's okay. Now the students have drawn some pictures and of their feeling and hearing and seeing and all that. And they're going to show you that picture, each and every one of them, and talk about why they choose it and why they draw this and so on. So, yeah, starting with the one we ended with the last time. So, Thomas.
So here's my picture, very ugly picture of the rocks, because I cannot draw, but this is how it is.
What is it?
It's the rocks here.
Yes, what do you call it?
Why did you draw that
Stuðlagill, because it's so beautiful, and this is my, what do I say, feeling of the landscape. Hvað heita Stuðlagill á ensku?
Column basalt.
Column basalt, this is the column basalt. Very beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas. Maria?
Okay. This is the picture I draw. It was some Stuðlavegg.
Yeah, column basalt.
Column basalt. I draw it because it caught my eye and it was beautiful.
It is okay. Karen?
Karen, ja.
Oh, it's not easy to see it, okay?
Yeah. This is the sea. I heard this
Sound?
heard the sound and draw this. Vil þú meira?
Why did you draw this?
I heard it and I just tried to draw something and this is what came.
Good, thank you. Julius? Yeah.
Vil segja hvað heitir?
Okay. Segja frá þessu.
My name is Julius. This is my drawing. It's of the column basalt, the sand, and the sea. Yeah, and I feel the Icelandic weather mostly.
Thank you. Harpa?
Column basalt. I hope they can see it, yes?
I draw a
Column basalt.
column basalt and I felt the heavy rain and saw some waves. Thank you.
Og Guðrún?
This picture is mine. Sea and sand. And I feel the horrible weather. It's not good. It's good.
Heiðdís?
My name is Eidís and I find the beach very smooth to walk on.
There are also some column basalt.
Yeah.
Okay. Why did you choose this?
Because I find the black beach beautiful.
Okay, thank you. Arna? Ástrós, er ekki?
Okay.
Okay, this is me feeling the touch of the wind and it's very cold.
Nice one.
Arna. Okay.
Svo slíka steinarnir.
Okay.
This is the sea and this is the stones, and I draw this picture because I'm scared of the sea and the stones are beautiful.
Nice, thank you. Anita?
I drew this picture of the sea and the birds because it was the first thing I saw, and I feel the Icelandic weather and it's cold.
Okay, thank you. So people, that's what we are going to stream today. It's heavy rain now in Iceland and a bit windy. I hope you have learned something from this, and we are going to talk about it later on in this program. But until tomorrow, then you'll hopefully be in the mountains. Have a nice day. Bye.